Question 61. I'm Essam Asali, Essam with the wind. I want to ask you, what are your favourite books? What are the books that inspired you to this field? And what about literature? Who are your favourite authors and writers? Thank you. Well, first of all, I have a lot of books, and magazines, but most of them are art and graphics. I don't read as much as I should. You know, I just wish I could have the time to read, and I just don't do anything like as much as I would like. So most of my books are illustrated. I mean, I have a big collection of graphic art and design books, magazines, Graphis magazine, Communication Arts, a lot of magazines, illustrations. I used to take illustrators. I used to take Graphis Annual, have A to Z artists from Agam to Paul Wunderlich and people like this, and there's a big collection of photography books, of bande dessinée, graphic novels, people who can draw. So my favourite book of the moment is a book by Paul Madonna called All Over Coffee. Now, Paul Madonna draws, it's not really a cartoon, but it's an illustration for the San Francisco Chronicle every Sunday. And I found the book in City Lights bookshop in San Francisco, beautiful city. And these drawings are all places in San Francisco. There are no people in the pictures, just sort of areas of the city, houses and things like this. They're beautiful drawings, mainly in a sort of brown or grey wash. But then there are little cryptic comments in that I really like, and some of my favourites, which was sort of cast yourself in the image of your idol, pull your collar tight, and walk into the storm. But my favourite one is, I think it's a drawing of the bay with Alcatraz and the Golden Gate in the distance, and it says, take a stand, and immediately you have a friend and an enemy. And I like that one because I think not enough people take a stand on things that they feel are important, and I tend to do that, and probably to my own personal cost. But I have to do it. There are things that make me angry, such as you know, religious instruction of small children before they're at an age when they can determine what is right or wrong, political dogma being flouted, really, extreme values without any evidence. Those are things that concern me, people using their money to influence political decision making. I take a stand on those things, which I think are ethical issues. Take a stand on things like Joseph Rotblat, who, the greatest man I ever knew personally, who took a stand against the proliferation of nuclear weapons. So those are the things, and I think people should take a stand. Another book I like very much is by San Francisco artist Michael Schwab, who has posters of the San Francisco area. I like other books. There's a book by Gamow called 1, 2, 3 Infinity, which is quite a nice one for the scientist. When I was a kid, I read the Brothers Karamazov, and I read a lot of Russian writers, and that sort of had a strong effect on me. But I don't read, as I say, as many things as I should, and by and large they're books of artists, illustrators, and Brad Holland is a favourite illustrator of mine. So perhaps I should read more. I quite liked Feynman's The Meaning of It All. I think that was a very interesting book. where he talked about science and the society and the problems posed by a scientific education in young people who have come from a highly dogmatized background. So those are perhaps some of the books that I think are important. In fact, I and my family have produced a book. This here is I don't know whether you can see it. It's my favourite book at the moment because these are characters produced by our younger son David, and the storyline, the family have written this about this little boy and this dog who get 10 times smaller every time they see a pentagon, and they get smaller and smaller and smaller and go inside the body. And this is another one where he's sliding down DNA. So I've transferred these characters into a book which is coming out at Christmas, but in Japanese. It's going out in an English edition, so I think that'll be my favourite book in the very near future. One of the books that inspired me, again, they were probably art books of great artists that I like very much, because I do graphic design, and so really rather different from most people who are influenced by books. I mean, I certainly remember getting an organic textbook, Fisa and Fisa, for my birthday when I was at school, and I read a lot of that before I went to university and was thinking of becoming an organic chemist at the time. But I ended up in physical chemistry, chemical physics, spectroscopy, and then in a bit of radio astronomy, and ended up doing some really nice organic chemistry in a roundabout way. So those are the things. And I think if I was to advise a book which had both what I was interested, clever, interesting, oblique observations about life, then All Over Coffee by Paul Madonna would be the one at the moment.